Hello, today I'm joined by my good friend Ali Parser, who's a serial entrepreneur, particularly in healthcare, and was recognised by the Health Service Journal as one of the most 50 influential people in healthcare in the UK. And in 2013 he set up a company called Babylon, whose aim is to put affordable healthcare in the hands of everybody on earth. So Ali, what caused you to decide to take on such a huge task as healthcare and the changing of healthcare in the UK?
If you think about it, Alan, you and I, we can't get, 1 in 5 of us can't get the appointment we need to see a doctor. Of those of us who do, 1 in 8 of us gets misdiagnosed. Of those of us who get diagnosed and treated, 1,000 of us a month die because of unavoidable mistakes.
You know, there's some significant challenges in terms of keeping the population healthy in most modern societies. Would you say it's one of the biggest challenges for any society today?
I'll give you an example, diagnostics. 10 years ago, it used to cost around $1 million to do a tip-to-toe diagnostics of yourself. Today, I can do that with $10,000 and I can throw in your genome sequencing. That's a 99% reduction in the cost of diagnostics in a single decade. So we are moving towards a world where we can diagnose you, watch you, monitor you all the time without almost you being aware of it, as we do with your car.
So would you say that this is probably the biggest revolution in healthcare that we're experiencing? So there's all these huge social problems, but on the upside, there's this incredible technology revolution happening. Is that the answer to some of the problems that we're facing?
Absolutely. So imagine, Alan, what you used to happen to your car. 20 years ago, you would drive your car blissfully, and then the engine blows up. Actually, I was driving in one of my friend's incredibly posh car the other day, and they called him on his mobile and said that the car has just informed us that your brake pads are going down. Should we arrange a service for you? That's what we can already do with your healthcare. We can already predict when things are going wrong. We just don't do it.
So certainly in the UK, there's this marvellous NHS with some wonderful people, but you know, many commentators' observation would be it's become bureaucratic and incredibly difficult to change. So having worked, you know, within that system and alongside that system, would you be of the view that actually it can't change, and actually we've got to kind of build something alongside that can start to take the weight and the pressure off it? Is that the way forward?
For you to see a GP, it'll take you at least 48 hours, let's say, sometimes much longer than that. With Babylon, you can do it within minutes. You can be talking to a doctor in few minutes. 1 in 10 times, of course, we need to send you to see a physical person. But at least we have a very good idea that what is wrong with you and whether you should go see them and can guide them to see you quickly. The savings for societies and for consumers, the time, the effort, the accessibility, the convenience, the accuracy. And that's just the beginning. We haven't even begun to do what we should do.
What's been the response in the UK government, if any, to the kind of provision that you're providing?
It's very interesting. So there hasn't been anybody in the UK government or in the UK Health Service that we talk to that doesn't think that's the future. It's very easy for everybody to talk. It's very difficult for anybody to do anything. But yet it's very easy for anybody to stop something that is going to be done.
So would you say that actually that sort of entrepreneurial spirit, you know, actually getting stuff done outside the system is the only way that the evolution can happen? It can't happen within the system. It's got to happen alongside and sort of almost prove itself, and then gradually people migrate across. Is that how you see it, you know, working in modern societies?
It has always been this.
Right.
In every society, everywhere. Even when you go back in history, the rule you outlined in your question is the rule of innovations everywhere.
So Ali, I know that in Babylon there are a number of people doing PhDs in artificial intelligence. So how do you see that evolving, the interface between artificial intelligence, technology and the delivery of healthcare?
Right. So I think here is the simple maths, right? We have 7 billion people on our planet, increasing, and we have 3 million doctors. There is no mathematical way that this 3 million can look after the 7 billion, and that's why half of the world population has no access to healthcare, and a very big chunk of the other half have very limited or restricted access to healthcare. We just built a machine that can triage better than any human we know. And we're launching that in the next 3-4 weeks. And in our labs, it does phenomenally well. What does it do? Because it's calculating hundreds of millions of variations of symptoms in real time very, very quickly. Much better than a human mind can do. It's not subject to confirmation biases or pattern recognition, all the weaknesses a human mind has.
So in the sort of conversation around technology and the future of technology, many people get very animated by technology replacing the human being. Do you think it's going to go that way, or do you think it's always going to be an adjunct as a support to a clinician?
I don't know about always, right? But I think in the foreseeable future is absolutely an adjunct. I do not see the machine as anything more than a tool that would allow humans to leverage their knowledge, make it better, in the same way that weather prediction. Who does weather prediction? Machines do it, but it's the humans, the physicists, who actually check it and deliver it. And that's going to be the case at least for the next 4 or 5 years.
So do you think it will change the nature of medical education in a way when, the simple calculator came in, we maybe start to lose the ability to do simple math because the calculator's there? Do you think it will, having a computer-assisted diagnostic process will change the way that we train doctors, because some of the clever or really detailed knowledge stuff, the assistant is there to help them. So will it change the way we train our doctors?
I remember even myself, it used to take me days, weeks to do some differential equations, strings of differential equations when I was doing my physics. Today I can program those in minutes and have a machine deliver it in seconds. If it's hugely complex, maybe in hours, but certainly not weeks and months that I used to spend day in, day out making calculations. That frees my brain to do what really mattered, which wasn't the process of calculation, but is actually conclusion of from those. And I think that's where human brain is best used at, is creativity, is problem solving, not the simplest stuff. The machine is much better at those.
So Ali, we've heard about the power of technology in really accelerating the delivery of healthcare, putting in mankind's hands information, tools, and a doctor in the palm of your hand 24/7. Can this type of technology help with what's going on inside of me as well as physical conditions?
We actually lose more people to suicide every year than we've ever done to war, acts of terror, or anything of the sort, right? So I give you an example. The science in this is very well known. If you are highly depressed and going through a depressive episode, in the last 2 to 3 days, you would have been increasingly sitting at home and you would be spending a lot of time on your mobile, just staring into it, right? Or playing with it. That, we just know that. We've evidenced that. Now imagine I got your phone in Babylon, I see where you are, your geolocator, and I know how much time you're spending on your phone, so I can come in and ping you up, which is what we will be starting to do shortly, and say, Alan, I notice you've been home for the next 3 days, you've spent far too much time on your phone, is everything okay, right? So I don't wait for you to come to me. I can predict things that are going back in a way that you don't do. And that's what we do, as we talked about earlier, with your car already. We don't wait for your car to break down before we fix it. That's what we're doing with medicine. That's why instead of all the money we spent on it, is the wrong way, is the bad way to do it, and that's why it fails so many people. We need to become better at delivery of medicine. The system we have now, it's okay. It's not brilliant, it's not great, we shouldn't fall in love with it. We should accept it because it's all we got now. But we should work like crazy to try and make it a lot better.
I mean, it's marvellous, this sort of technology-enabled healthcare. In my own days as a physician, a lot of the attention was focused on the end stage of disease, and as physicians, you would literally watch the downward progress of people until they got so bad that you'd have to do something. What technology enables is you to get right up on the other side, really early intervention.
It's because it's becoming easy. It's because it's becoming cheaper. It's because it's becoming more accessible that we genuinely believe we could do with healthcare what Google did with information. Make it available and accessible to all and universally deliver it to every human being on earth. It's not an impossible task. It will be done within not just our lifetime, within the next decade.
And that's a truly inspiring vision. Ali, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.